Hey guys, it's Morgan with BDSM Relationships and Education. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Make sure you check the description box below and the first pinned comment in order to see what I've been up to lately and join me on other forms of social media. So today we are going to talk about an issue that I sort of came across because somebody was looking for, posted on FetLife saying, hey, have you guys heard about this kind of thing? So, of course, I am talking about Armie Hammer, who apparently is an actor. I am completely clueless when it comes to these kind of things. So I'm going to stick a picture over here, and we're going to talk about the situation that has evolved surrounding this particular person. So for those of you who, like me, didn't really know who Armie Hammer was, he is an American actor. He was in The Lone Ranger. So I'm just looking at some notes here so that I can make sure I get this right. He's an American actor who was in The Lone Ranger, Cars 3, Call Me By Your Name, and all kinds of other movies and things like that. And check out his IMDb sheet for all of his credits. He has had a bit of an interesting history when it comes to kink and the media and mainstream society and all that. So allegedly, and all of this stuff is allegedly, we have to really stress that. In 2017, he allegedly liked a series of rope bondage photos, shibari-style photos on Twitter. And, of course, the public kind of exploded with that, being like, oh my God, he's into kink and all this other stuff. And so that was a thing, apparently. I never saw it. It was just not even on my radar because I don't pay much attention to mainstream celebrities. They're just not my thing. So he liked these photos, and then he later deleted the tweets and everything else. Apparently then in 2013, so prior to this, he did an interview with Playboy magazine where he admitted that he liked engaging in kink as a dominant, but that his tastes had changed once he got married, because he believed apparently that, you couldn't be both a dominant and in love with your submissive or something along those lines, which of course you guys here on my channel know is complete bullshit. You can love somebody and still be dominant to them. So really what he ended up admitting in Playboy ended up being more like just rough sex topping kind of stuff rather than dominance. But again, we all know that you can engage in these activities with a submissive or a bottom or a person that you have deep feelings for, that you love, all of that kind of stuff. I love my partner, and we engage in all kinds of, rough BDSM type activities. So then that, of course, brings us to the current situation. Now, it started when somebody released alleged screenshots of some text messages that are said to be from Armie Hammer to the person that released, I believe it was to the person that released the screenshots. It's a very confusing and convoluted sort of thing, so it's a little hard to follow. So I will put those up here. And in these text messages, he says things like, wanting to, eat people, that he's a cannibal, and things like that, and that this is hard to admit to. Now, there are some questions regarding those particular screenshots. Apparently, the person that released them then came out and said that it was faked, except that maybe that was faked. And so, it gets really, really confusing and convoluted, where nobody knows what part is true and what part isn't. Now, of course, Hammer denies all of these things. He says that he'd never sent those text messages. He never did any of this kind of stuff. It is potentially important to note that he is in a rather contentious custody battle over access to his children at this point. So I think that they are suggesting that this may be a bit of a motivation for some of these things that are being released. Now, of course, after this whole thing kind of exploded, a number of his former partners or people alleging to be former partners. I don't know if that's been confirmed, so I'm just going to, again, throw allegedly in there everywhere. If I have learned anything from Simon Whistler, it's allegedly. A lot of his former partners have come out, or a number of his former partners have come out, alleging various forms of abuse, and saying that they were in situations that they did not want to be in, that he just sort of brushed past objections, things like this. Again, allegedly, because I don't want to get sued, because I can't afford to be sued. Like, let's be honest here. But the whole situation, I think, comes down to a really, really important point. And this is what I hope that we can focus on moving forward. So when people come forward with these types of allegations, I believe that the most important thing that we can do is believe victims. On top of that, I think the big focus that is really taking away from the situation is that people are focusing on the kink aspect because it's so, scandalous. Oh my God, a cannibal. Like, it's certainly on the extreme end of the kink spectrum. And I'm actually going to be posting a video shortly after this about cannibalism kinks and other kinks that are related to that type of stuff. Just so that we can understand them better. They're not kinks that I hold, but, your kink is not my kink, and that's okay. But anyways, when we are talking about these things, a lot of the media and everything is focused solely on these kinks. And that's understandable because media has to focus on these things to be sensational and sell newspapers or subscriptions or whatever it is. I guess nobody really sells newspapers anymore, but advertisers for their website or views or clicks or whatever. But we should be focused on the allegations of abuse. Abuse is abuse is abuse. If it happened, then, because again, allegedly, but if it happened, then that is the problem. The fact that kink is involved does not mitigate abuse in any way. The fact that, he's into some of these more extreme kinks, he's not standing accused of murdering anybody or of actually trying to eat anyone or anything like that. Most people, I would say, like nearly all people who are into these kinks understand that they are, in the realm of fantasy rather than reality. It's very few people that would actually ever try to go through with these things, but I'll talk about that a little more in the actual video for it. But we need to focus on these allegations of abuse, of brushing past consent, of putting people in situations that they didn't want to be in. And those situations are, from what I understand, sexual situations, things like that. So it doesn't matter if kink is involved or not. Consent is still consent. If you withdraw consent, it doesn't matter that you're in a kink relationship, you've withdrawn consent. You guys know that I've talked about the only hard and fast rule in all of BDSM is that you have some form of consent, whether that is a blanket consent at the beginning or whether that is consent for each individual activity or however you want to do consent. There's different styles. I'll include some links to videos about consent up in the cards and in the description. But, it's a foundational. It is what separates BDSM from abuse. So we do need to really, really focus on these allegations of abuse, ignore the sensationalistic aspects of it, and just focus on the fact that this person has been accused of these things, and, can we find the truth of the matter? Because, I know a lot of people are complaining about cancel culture and things like that, but we, nobody really knows what happened. And if there's many, many people, in any given situation, coming forward and saying this happened to me, maybe we should try to listen to them. So when it comes down to it, we really do need to focus on the allegations of abuse and not the kink aspect of this. Thank you guys so much. I just wanted to put that out there because it has been kind of buzzing around in the world of BDSM recently, and I just wanted to come out and make a quick video about that. And then we'll also take a quick look in the following video about cannibalism and other similar kinks. So thanks so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video.